Voila, there we go. 2 absolutely beautiful handmade letters with beautiful contents as well. So yeah, follow along this video and find out how I made them. Thank you so much. Enjoy. Okie dokie, so let's make some beautiful envelopes. So I have got 2 old vintage boxes and quite shabby they are. I'm going to make them a little bit more chic, and in them I've been storing some envelopes. These are them. These are mainly made from that one's a waxed envelope. These are fabric envelopes. And I thought, let's make a sort of, what's the word? Not a decomposed journal. A deconstructed journal. So I've got 2 very pretty pages here printed. Now, for the life of me, and I'm so sorry designers, I cannot remember who I bought these from. I got them on Etsy. I was doing some fairy journals, so I downloaded lots and lots and lots of papers, printed them all, and of course now I've got too many. So I'm going to use them all up and making pretty envelopes. So this piece is 7.5. I have cut them down, 7.5 by 9.5 inches, and this one is just 7.25 by 10. So we'll turn them over, and the first thing we're going to do is fold in the edges. Let's make some folds. Now I have got the ability to make my own envelopes with my envelope machine, but I thought let's just make some from scratch together. So I'm first of all folding these sides in, and we're looking at about 1 inch. 1 inch in. Do you know, I've got inches here and centimetres at the bottom. I think that's why I'm getting everything just a little bit mixed up. Let's go line it all up. Let's get it all square, because there's nothing worse than envelopes that aren't square. You know, when you've worked really hard, you make a beautiful envelope and then it isn't square. So there, that's a good way of doing it. With your ruler and your cutting mat. I'm going to redo this side because I used my inches to centimetres. So let's redo this. Take that to there. So today I've got my Elf winter warmer pyjamas on, and I'm just using them as a comfies for around the house. I thought, why not? Let's get into the Christmas spirit. Been putting Christmas trees up this morning, put some trees up, and we had my shower and thought, well, you know, because after I've been in helping my husband get decorations down, etc., I thought, let's have a shower, and rather than get dressed, let's just put some comfies on, because I'm not going out anywhere today. I'll be at football. I promised myself an afternoon in the craft room, so here I am, and in my comfy elf pyjamas. I love them. Nice and warm. Right, there we go. So those are folded down about 1 inch or so each side, and you can just use your bone folder to sharpen those edges up a little bit. So what are we all up to? Are we all ready for Christmas? I don't know that I am. I don't feel like I've got enough presents. But I have. I've checked off and I've double checked with my hubby, and we seem to have bought everybody we needed to. I've even bought myself a little present today, like a felt handbag, tote bag with cherries on. Right, so there we go. Those two are ready for the next stage. Okay, so what you need to be mindful of making your own envelopes is the print on the paper. Now this one does have a little bit of writing on, which I can cope with that. However, if you use something like this, which is equally absolutely beautiful, and you decided that you wanted this at the bottom of your envelope, beautiful, like that, look lovely, this as the top of your envelope, which is great because the writing's both facing the right way, and that's really pretty. However, when you turn your envelope over, this piece is upside down. So it will be a disaster. I think it would, when you've got this amount of script on it. So it's really pretty paper that. I am going to make an envelope out of that. And I can show you how to do that. But let's get back to what we are doing. So these are our two. So we're going to make our mind up where we want the folds. So I'm going to fold here. This will be the back. Now, some of this, as I said, this side's got writing on. There's a little bit of a postmark and it says Cartpaw style there. However, I am okay with that being upside down. That is fine with me because it's light. You know, there's not much of it to see. I'm going to fold that down as the top. Ooh, I'm a little bit out there. I'm not square, am I? You do need to leave a little bit of gap there. I'm not quite square, so I've not worked well with my centimetres and inches and things there, have I? Right, that's square. So I'm just going to fold this in a little bit more at the bottom because it isn't the end of the world. It isn't the end of the world. Maybe it's my paper that wasn't torn square. I mean, it's so important when you're making envelopes that you're square. That is now just a little bit too small. Let's just let that out a bit. Right, there we go. And this will fold down, which is beautiful. And that means then that this here will be the front. And this has got more writing on. It's got some of these beautiful roses coming down. I'm really happy with that as the front of my envelope. And front, and that is the back. Once we've decorated it, this bit of upside downness there won't be as noticeable. So let's do the same with this piece, and let's hope that this piece is, look at that, perfectly square. That one mustn't have been quite a square piece of glue on my fingers, mustn't have been quite a square piece. So these are leaf patterns. If they're a little bit upside down, it doesn't matter. Writing's on the side. Let's fold that down. So here you need to leave about half centimetre, which is about 1/4 of an inch gap there. Oh, that folds down beautifully. And you see you've got about this little gap here. That is pretty. These are pretty papers, aren't they? Oh, I'm going to love doing these envelopes. I can get my envelope stash built up as well. And there is the front. And that is perfect for, as though that's the part where you would write the address. In fact, you could use that as an envelope, couldn't you, and post it. And now I'm going to open the envelopes up and you're going to cut away these bits. Cut away, tear away, whichever you choose. Now the ones you're going to remove are here, whoop, here, here, and here. You're going to leave those flaps in the middle there. So let's open that up, put our ruler onto there. Let's just draw a little line so I can see where those are. Now you can tear or you can cut, but I do like to tear. So let's just tear down there. I do find putting my ruler upside down makes it easier to tear as well. So that's that one. We'll go across here. Now you save all your little pieces, even though I've drawn on them now, save your little pieces of paper, because the likelihood is you'll use them. You'll use those scraps. So I'll just finish doing this on both envelopes and I will be back shortly. Okie dokie, so I've done that. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to line my envelopes. Because one, I want to make them stronger, but two, I know it's the white inside there, but I'd like to have something showing inside. So I've got here some vintage paper. Oh, this is actually blotting paper, so I'll keep that separate. So I've got some vintage paper. Now, what is going to show? The top part is going to show, isn't it? And in fact, I'm just going to line it all, because the reason I want to line it all is because I want it to all be strong. Right, so I'm going to take that there to there. Have you noticed no measuring? I'm terrible. I never want to measure anything. I just like to guesstimate and tear. In fact, I don't even always use, as you can see, whoops, I don't even always use a ruler. So that is for there, and that will look really pretty. So there's the envelope. When you open the envelope, you'll have that there, but also to look inside it, you'll have the lovely copper plate inside. This paper is from the 1800s, I do believe. I've got a fantastic ledger book, and I am going to, what did I do there? And I'm going to put some of this paper in my shop after Christmas. So that one's for that one. And this one is going to be for here. Let's have a look. So if that goes there, we need to tear that off there. So I'm just going to glue those in and I'll be back shortly. I actually realised that somebody who may be watching this video over Christmas, who's never made a journal before, might want to see me glue these in. So I've just got my big brush. I've got my PVA glue, which is just like your tacky glue. Why is there a bit of yellow in it? Because of some ink from where I've been inking edges and things. So I'm just going to put that glue on there. You don't need a thick layer of glue. Now I bought, my husband bought me like 5 litres of this glue from the local DIY shop, and it had it me. I've just been having a look, something like 2022 it says on, and I'm still working my way through it. I've got my little cloth here, so I just wipe up any glue spillages, wipe my fingers, pop that onto there, the way that I want it to be seen. Now what I never do is I never fold my envelopes, or I'd never fold anything. Something sticking up in the middle there. I can hear my dogs barking, they're driving me insane. I don't know, I think it's all the delivery, you know, the Christmas deliveries and things. I think they're just so excited for Christmas. Trees are up, postman keeps knocking at the door. Right, yeah. It's the, what's catching are the little holes where these pages were sewn in. So yeah, I never fold these while the glue's wet, because if you do, you end up with some nasty, funny fold marks, and it doesn't look very nice. What I'm also going to do while we're at this is I'm just going to fold these in, ready for folding the envelope. So these haven't got any of the in fact, I could just do that, couldn't I? If you fold them into the middle there, then you know they're all going to be the same size. You know, if you fold them onto that crease there, fold it onto that crease. There we go. Those will be your bits that your sides of your envelope will stick onto. Now you can cut those off if you want, or just do what I'm going to do. I'm just going to grab a bit of glue. Now, because these are already folded over, I don't need to follow the rule I've just told you about not folding over. But because I've glued two pieces of paper together there, that's why I'm not folding over. As I'm putting the decorations out this year, I was so excited because this 2026 I'm going to be a grandma. First grandbaby's due, which is exciting. And so I was thinking next year, oh my goodness, Narnia is going to be nothing compared to what my house will look like inside. Talk about the Lion and the Witch and the Wardrobe. My mother-in-law did that once. She had a hallway in the centre of her house. So you came through the front door into a little tiny hallway, into the lounge. And then she did like a magical doorway into the inner hall, because it was a bungalow, into the inner hall. And wow, she'd done like Santa's grotto, and it was absolutely stunning. Absolutely amazing. The children loved it. Right, I'm going to pause here for a minute and let these dry. I'm just going to see what the doggies are barking at, and I'll be back. Okay, so they've dried off now, and I've been able to fold them quite nicely too. So what I'm going to do before I put glue to anything, I'm going to use my distress ink, and I am going to go all around the edges. So I've got Vintage Photo. Anyway, I've put oxide on top of ink. Okay, as you do. So I don't recommend that. However, it's worked for me here. You can tell it's coming up to that crazy time of the year. I've just been in to see to the dogs, and do you know what I thought? How to shut them up. I'll let them out to the loo. So remember to ink your creases inside your envelope as much as you're outside. The creases that are going to be seen, obviously. I don't need to ink around there because that will obviously be folded up. So now I need to ink here. So I thought, yeah, toilet, stop them from barking, toilet and food. A little snack. So toilet, yeah, great. got the balls out. There's 3 of them at the moment. I shall explain why later. Got the balls out. Put some biscuits in each bowl, some little snacky biscuits in each bowl. Did they go to each bowl? No, of course not. They all wanted to eat out of the same bowl. They've all got their own bowls, but basically my daughter has gone to Europe. You know, she goes off to see the Christmas markets. My son's gone to Australia, which is amazing. I am jealous, but the thought of a flight to Australia is a long, long way, isn't it? He's flown from UK to Switzerland via Swissair. Then he's flown to Hong Kong by, I can't remember who, another airline. Oh, Swissair again. Swissair to Hong Kong, and then Hong Kong to Sydney. So he's gone to watch the Ashes. Right, for speed now, for speed drying, bringing in the big guns. Let's bring in the Fabri-Tac. So yeah, he's gone to watch the Ashes. England aren't, I don't follow cricket, but I do understand that England are not doing very well. So, hey ho, at least you'll get to see all that lovely sunshine. I mean, how lovely is that? We've got a beautiful envelope there with this lovely copper plate, all lined in vintage paper, and all ready for us to decorate there. There's my 2 envelopes. Aren't they absolutely gorgeous? So I am going to decorate them. So if you just bear with me a minute and I will be back and we can decorate them together. Okay, we're back now. Ready for my favourite bit, decoration. So, while I've been sorting out my craft room, moving from the indoors to the outdoors, what did I find? That, not that I'd lost it, but I'd forgotten that I had it. But my grandfather died 36 years ago, and he'd been retired about 20 years ago. 20 years, so sorry, that's 36, 56. So he's probably not used his typewriter for about 60 years. However, boom, it works. So I've got my bits and pieces together and I'll show you how to decorate, but I'm so pleased that this typewriter works. How amazing is that? Oh, let me show you. I have been having a go with dyeing fabrics. Now you're going to be blown away in a minute, because, well, I hope you are, because I was. I am. I've been dyeing lots of these lovely sari silk ribbons, and I bought the raw ribbon, and I've been hand dyeing them myself. Here they go, here they are, and these are available in my shop. I'll put a link below. But anyway, for my January project, for my Junk Journal January that I'm taking part in, I thought I'd hand dye some more, and some other fabrics. Let's just zoom out a little bit. And these have all come from red cabbage, would you believe it? Yeah, envelopes for now. So let's start with this one. So I love the Distress Ink peeled paint. So I'm just going to use my little dabber, and I'm just going to go around the edge of this and whoop, this paper. I like the peeled paint. It's a lovely colour, this green. There we go. I'm going to pop that onto there. Let's get the Fabri-Tac, because it is nice to have an address, space for an address on your envelope, isn't it? I did another envelope which I can't show you because it's, well, I can, but it has got a little bit of the Junk Journal January Winter Wonderland. I'm not going to show you it all. Just let me cover it. Boom. But can you see what I've done there? I've just used a tag. I'm not showing it because you have to go and have a look yourself. I've just used a tag there as like my address piece. Right, so that's on there. This one, I am going to use my script stamp. And again, I'm going to jump into the peeled paint and I'm just going to put some script on there. There we go. And again, I'm going to go around the edge. My plan is to sort of bundle up some of these, you know, letters as though they've been tied up with love. See, I'd even had a go there at typing my own name. Why is it we always want to do that? My granddad would never let me use this typewriter. He had bakers and confectioners, my papa, and we used to go and stay with my nan and papa sometimes during school holidays. My dad was working away and sometimes he took my mum with him, I know, and left us at home, us poor kids, not exactly at home. He used to leave us with nan and papa, and because they had this amazing business, they both worked and we had to go with them. So if it was school halls and we couldn't go to school, I don't know why I'm inking that because I don't need to use it. School halls, we used to go with them to his office where he'd be using his typewriter. He kept us fed with beautiful meat and potato pies. They were the best pies known to man. I'm sorry, I'm biased, but they were. Let's pop that on there. This stamp, these, I do like to use original vintage and antique stamps, right? I know that there are wonderful stamps. Tim Holtz, I love those stick-on stamps, love them. I've got my own. They're over on the other side of the craft room. But for authentic look, I think the original. Now this is one Anna. Oh, I've put Anna on there. I must have seen that and thought, Anna. One Anna. Now, I don't know what an Anna is because I've only known rupees in India. So, one Anna. And it's got this lady on. Let's bring her up. Can you see? This is a beautiful lady. And I thought that looks pretty. I'm going for the pretty. Now, this one is our lovely late queen. And it is from... it says sixpence. Now I'm assuming it's UK, but it could be from Canada, Australia, any of the Commonwealth countries. Now you'll notice that this one, I've taken that off the paper. This one is still on the original envelope from the paper envelope. It doesn't matter. I think both look as equally nice as each other. Then I'm going to get my postcard. Not postcard, my, what are they called? Postmark. I have to check this because I'm terrible for putting it the wrong way up. So I'm going to stamp on there. Whoop, there we go. Right, it's gone over there. Doesn't matter. Absolutely doesn't matter. Because quite often, when things come in from Europe, the post stamps are all over everywhere. Boop, boop, boop. Especially if they've been rediverted around. So those are my fronts. Am I happy with my fronts? I've got some flowers here. Do I want to stick a flower on? Let's have a look. Let's just have a little look. Oh, that's pretty. Now that would go with that. Now I know, well, nowadays you certainly wouldn't send a flower through the post like that, would you? On the front of your stamp, on the front of your envelope, because your envelope would never get there. because it will be ripped open or what have you as they go through the machines. But I suppose back in the day, you could do. Right, I'm going to use those. Or do I use that one? Do we use both of them? What shall I do? What shall I do? Sometimes decisions are just far too big for me to. Far too big for me. Oh, we could put that on there. Some like vine, and we could put that there. We could bring that down like that. I do like to set them out so then I can just have a look. I like that on there. These flowers are from Hobbycraft, the Hobbycraft's own. If you're in the UK, which I believe is Hobby Lobby anywhere else. I don't know if that's anywhere else in the world, but I know that's anywhere else in the United States. Right, I think we'll put 2 on there. We'll put that one on there. Sadly, I've only got that one piece of ivy. I've got a leaf. Yeah, I could put a leaf on, couldn't I need to start my flower draw up. Right, let's just glue these on. And then we'll turn over and do the backs. So I'm cooking Christmas dinner. Are you? Are you? We're having a traditional English, British English. I don't like to say these days because we're so multicultural. You say the wrong thing and everything's so PC. You say the wrong thing and you're in big trouble. So yeah, I'm going to do a British English, like my grandmother would have made. We're going to have turkey with roast potatoes and all the trimmings. You know, the honey roast parsnips and the honey roast carrots, sprouts this isn't traditional English, but we're going to have it. He did sprouts with bacon and they were absolutely delicious. So they were cooked and then finished off with bacon. They were delicious because we had Christmas dinner before he went off to Australia. So we're going to have that. So I'll look up for a recipe. I think that has sort of come over the over the Atlantic from the United States, because we certainly I never remember having anything with bacon except my Sunday breakfast when I was a child, or bacon chops for tea with my granny. Right, there we go. Those are the fronts, which I think look very pretty. Pleased with those. I'm going to whip these over. And for the back, I've got this lovely trim. I ordered this and it's coming from China. It's very pretty, isn't it? So I'm going to cut one off and I'm just going to pop that on the back of there just to hold the envelope down. So let's just put that on. It's actually quite heavy trim, this. Pretty, but heavy. So I've just only put it on the top bit because obviously I don't want to stick my envelope shut. So that can go on there. So there we've got the rose on the paper with the rose. And that's the front. Have I got glue on the front? The best thing about fabric tack is you can just rub it off, can't you? I don't know what's in it, but I love it because you can just rub it off. This one, I'm going to put some of my hand-dyed sari silk across the back there. I put it onto these sticks that I gather on the beach, these driftwood sticks. And then this one I've just ruched it up. Why am I using Fabri-Tac and not PVA? The reason I'm using Fabri-Tac is so that because this is fabric and I don't think PVA would do as good a job, and also it might come through onto my lovely, lovely silk. I'm going to cut that off there. Now I do need something to go in these, so I'm going to have a look in my drawer in a moment. Or I might, actually, no, yes, I'm going to have a look in my drawer to see if I've got any reproduction things, letters to go in. Or I might have to make some tomorrow. So, yes, there's that one. There's the back. And there's the front. And there's the back. I'll just have a look in my drawer. I'll be back in a second. So I have got some letters that are written in French, because if you put letters in written in a different language than your own, I think they look far more interesting and exciting than the ones written in your native tongue. However, I can't find them anywhere. But I did make these cabinet cards. So I'm going to actually pop, for now, just pop a cabinet card in each. That one will go in there, because you did that sometimes, didn't you? Put your photographs in your envelope. So I do need a letter in these. So when I find my wonderful letter from the 1700s, written in French, I'll put them in. This one, I thought, hopefully, this will fit in. If they glue up a little bit inside, just get your bone folder and unstick them. See if it fits in. Please fit in. Please. Yes, it does. Oh, that's pretty in there. So that one into there. Just catching on something in the bottom corner. There we go. That one. Nope, it's still catching, and I know exactly what it's catching on. It's where I've not glued something down properly. I'm just going to have to put my hand inside, do an emergency glue, internal glue situation. So excited tonight. It's just me and my hubby in for our evening meal, and we're going to have a Chinese. I know, small things, isn't it, that just get you, that get me excited anyway. Chinese, just the two of us. So that one's in there. That's beautiful. I think these are from Tim Holtz. I think it's French, that, Avignon. Been to Avignon. So that one's in there. And that one's got the little one in, of the little girl. Oh, Edinburgh, that one. Never mind. And sometimes you lose the letters, don't you, and just keep the pictures. You know, you throw the letters away if they're a little bit risque, I suppose. There we go. So those are my two envelopes. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please comment and please subscribe to my channel. Please give me a like too. You'll help me so much if you do that. And I'm now going to put those in here. This is one of my vintage boxes with this. I made this one yesterday. That one's got some old, let's show you, cabinet cards, trading cards inside. And this is made out of fabrics. So, and with a little, tiny little hat pin as well, stick pin. So I have got some authentic letters that are written in French from the 1800s. However, with moving from my old craft room to my new craft room, I've not come across them yet. So I went online this morning, and one of the, I'm not sure which one, one's from the Graphics Fairy and one was just available online. This is dated 1837. I've printed them onto coffee stained paper, and I'm going to put them in the envelopes. So I've got them here. Yes, my printer did eat them a little bit, but I don't think that's too big an issue. I just want to remove some of the sort of white space off. Let's just tear that across there. That's that one. And then this one, this is like written in a purpley pink colour, quite nice. I'm just going to tear the bits off. So next I printed another couple of these letters off, and what I'm going to do is make a envelope using the letters. I thought that'd be quite fun. So it's like a little sort of file folder type thing made out of the letters, the copies of these ancient letters from France. So I'm going to do that video next. In fact, as soon as I finish this, I'm going to start filming that one. There we go, those are there. So what I'm going to do is get my distress ink. I don't want to get it on my lovely antique and vintage laces below. So I'm going to fold these up. Now let's see which one in which. I think I'm going to put that one in that one. So what I'm going to do is fold it to the size there. So I'm just going to, where I folded it now, I'm going to just ink just a little bit of vintage photo. Let's fold it back that way, because remember it's creased on both sides. And then, see, this is in here as part of my deconstructed journal. This is journaling space, which is rather lovely journaling space, I must admit. So that can go to about there. Yep, which means this will fold to there. So now we just do these bits. So again, both sides. Oops. I didn't used to like these little finger inkers, but actually I quite like them. Quite like them now. They're handy. Handy for little jobs like this. So then I need to come back inside like this. Go follow along there. Now I've seen some people get their nail files and things out and make little holes and burn out pieces, etc. But I'm not going to do that. I'm quite happy with the paper as it is. Cheating there, doing all those edges at the same time. And then I just need to do my two top edges. I put the, earlier I put the cabinet cards in. Well, I am going to leave the cabinet cards in as well. Right, so that is that one. So then we fold it up however we want it. I mean, you could tuck that into there if you wanted to make it neater. Yeah, that will work. That's rather nice, tucked in there. So then, here we go. We'll take the cabinet card out and put the letter in. and we'll put the cabinet card in as well. And there we go.